Hello, everyone. So this is the presentation de Palais des Congrès de Montréal again, but about the brand refresh, which I worked on. So you saw a little of it when I shared my past experience, but I would like to go through this because it's really important part of the type of job that any leader should know because branding it's important. Marketing is really important to position your brand and know who you want to target, how you want to create growth. It's all related and it needs to be well defined. So I'm going to share with you the impact also of the pandemic with the COVID. It's in French, but I will do the presentation in English and I will share with you most of the presentation. So this is the structure. So there's the directeur général, président directeur général. It's Emmanuel Legault right now. There used to be a VP Finance Administration. I think it doesn't exist anymore. But here you have all the directors, finance, HR, IT, buildings, business development, who I work like this very closely, events and operations, and me. I was director marketing and communications here. There's about 205 employees for events. So the mission is really to have economic impact and intellectual impact for Montreal and for the Quebec. So here I've shared that with you already. So the impact of the pandemic. So in 1 year, it was 339 events that we lost, and 227 million, 157 nights, and 30 million in benefits. So we have about 1 million participants per year. So that's a lot. So these were the big impact of the COVID. We built this program that was called Progress, a programme de reprise opérationnelle générateur de rassemblement et événements sécuritaires. It was very funny. It's one of my employees that created the name, and I thought it was very smart. And here you have the what we had to do. We had to train these people. Oh, and this Camille unfortunately passed away, but he was one of my favorite employee at the Palais. So so we had to open progressively up to 250 passenger. So the training we had to do, we did a lot of exams like les examens du barreau. There was a lot of there were still meetings going on because we had such wide space. People could have 2 meters between each other because it was so huge. So that's how we position ourselves during COVID, I would say. And we took this moment to work even more, to rebrand, to redo the website. It was all planned, but we keep going during COVID, even though we were sometimes closed. So we wanted to be the vecteur de la créativité montréalaise with innovation, experience, and very Montreal. So these were the different pillars of the brand we wanted to promote. So it's more than just square feet. It's really an experience and solutions that we were selling. So that's how we positioned ourselves. So how did we start? We start by adding employees to the discussion. If you don't involve employees, they won't buy it and they won't do it and they won't be mobilized by a new brand refresh and they won't be attached or they won't love the brand. So therefore, you need to add and have workshop with your employees, all of them, blue collars, any type of employees, any type of level. You make sure that they have their voice and the brand because it's their job. They know better than whoever. So here we ask them to show us images about how they feel, where we should go. So it was really how they could achieve more and get better. You see the pictures here. And here, this is how they felt the complexity was heavy. Um, that's why we have the turtle, Monsieur Patate, a little bit too crush. So this was really to share that they didn't feel that they could do it, but they wanted to achieve a higher goal than themselves, but sometimes there was some complexity in the business. We had to consider also the fact that we were close to homeless people, not in the right place. It was not always secure during COVID, and it's not even today. Well, we had to add more safety and security people, guides, so that they can protect the delegates from international and even the local people that were just crossing the Palais. Because as you know, the metro station is there. It's surrounded by homeless people. You have Mission Brewery, La Maison du Père that is nearby. So it's not an easy one, but we had to figure out a way to create a sense of safety. So how do you start when you have to do a rebrand? You have to look at the competition. So that's what you did in the brief. So you have to look at who are the other people that are playing in the same ground. So you look at the different logos of the competitors, and you look at they're colorful or not, and then you can compare and look at Canada. It's all blue, so it's quite impressive. And we look at Europe, Australia, anywhere in the world, and this is how we came up with these four inspiration identity. And you need to find a brand that you want to identify yourself. That's why I ask in the brief to showcase what you would like to look like. What is the aspiration, the type of images you're looking at? Because it's important to have a vision of what do you want to look like. Do you want to be chic? Do you want to be cheap? Do you want to be I don't know, heavy, flexible? So that's really something to that the brand will tell you. So SEC, it's a three conventions that is in Glasgow, that we looked at and we liked because it was different families with different colors, very colorful. Sydney also had a theater exhibition and a conference room, all linked to each other. Of course, they have bigger conventions than us. And then we have Melbourne with the big M, like Montreal, that we really liked. And V Paris, that is very French. And we are French. So maybe, and we are a palais. We're not a convention center. So do we want to push more on the word palais? Because we ask ourselves, should we change names? Well, during COVID, we thought that the government wouldn't prioritize that, because you have to know that the government of Quebec owns the building and owns the palais. So then we would have asked the permission, which I don't think they would be open for. They were very busy with COVID. But Palais was also something that pleased us because we were the only Palais in North America. In Europe, it's more common, but not in North America. So Vipari is something that we looked at too, that we liked. So this is the old brand of Le Palais des Congrès de Montréal. So you see the square. It's very square because it looks like the building, the windows that are multicolor. So that's really about the architecture mainly. And the name was really long. But that's our name. But how do we do so that it doesn't mean so long? Because then when you have a pizza with many logos, your logo is very thin and you're not capable to read the name. So that's why most of the time you will see two or three letters like ADM instead of Aéroport de Montréal, or YUL instead of, like these type of short, so that when you have a small place to put your brand, at least people can recognize it and understand what it is. So the new vision, it was to become the vecteur de la créativité montréalaise. We also wanted to add the changement de l'offre. We wanted to adapt and change our service offering with the Cité Lab. We wanted to be more creative and add startups to our service offering. That didn't work much, but it was the goal, to be innovative and unique. And then we had to consider the fact that worldwide there was a big change in the meeting and conventions industry because of COVID. So it was something that we had to consider. So our promise of the brand is des expériences inspirantes, authentiquement montréalaises, absolument mémorables. Un véritable vecteur de la créativité montréalaise. So it's really to showcase that we're inspiring, authentic, Montreal, and memorable. Just like the service à la clientèle that you're learning how to be memorable, not only and unique. This is the personality, the tone and style, and comportement désiré is how you want your people to behave. So it's really important. A brand has legs, and it has roots, and it can really influence the culture, the internal culture of a company. So you have the personality. We want to be an inventive, creator, open mind, optimism, organized. The tone and style is really to be soigné, agile, sympathetic, welcoming, instructive, because you learn when you go to the convention center and you create ideas, and how you felt that our employees should be like very à l'affût, to listen, and also empressé with a sense of emergency almost, creative and responsible, imputable. And l'espace vectoriel, c'est vraiment, it's a space where creativity is born, ideas are born because of these meetings and conventions. That's how great ideas come out. It's really by meeting people that you can create more. That's how we wanted to position ourselves. So look at the building. It's really à l'épicentre of Montreal. So here you have La Rue Saint-Laurent, and you see that's Old Montreal. That's the convention right here. And here you have the CHUM, you have Le Tunnel ici, and you have Mission Brewery that is not too far. Tunnel Ville-Marie that is underground. So here you see, so it's really this building. So it's like a box. So they said, oh, it's like a vector. In Latin, it means dérivé de VO, transport. So it transport yourself. You can feel like you transport information or a message. So this is where big ideas come through. So this is how we kind of wanted to share ourselves. Then we had presentations from from the agency. The black, red, and blue. Then we had the red, red. Then we had the black, black, this one that was very weird, and then they finally recommend this one, well, which we like, but we thought only two colors, it's restrictive. It's a shape that is evolving depending if it's the center of innovation, creativity, or inspiration. It's something that evolves and can be many things mainly. So we asked them to go back and say, well, maybe we don't want to be blue, red, and gray. We think it's quite boring. So they went back, and this is how we finalize with the colorful logo. There's no green because it will look like a beach ball. But this is a prism where the lights can come out in different way. Look at the windows. When you look at the windows, the light change color depending of the day of the light, and it shows that everything can be transformed in a prism. When the light gets in, the transformation becomes of the color, innovation, creativity, inspiration, possibilities, découverte, intelligence. So these were the axes that we create. So it's a logo that you see. So it's really moving. Inspiration, l'espace pour se réinventer. So it's découverte, inspiration, possibilité, intelligence. So here are the declination of the brand, how we can put it on the website for le Salon de l'Auto, the World AI Summit, the season of the Palais, Michelle Obama. So these are the different ways that we could promote the brand. Oh, and we had the podcast. That was also something very innovative. This is the Pantone that we used also. Many colors that we can use. This is the police de caractère that we chose. These could be on our cell phone. This could be outdoor billboards. This could be the bid books that I was telling you that we created. This would be a cheap way of painting walls and showing the forms of the brand. These are produits dérivés, promotion items. And on the brand, the ones that I was telling you, too many brands, you dilute your brand. You need to have a strong brand, always the same logo, always, always, always. The Prism was a studio that we created, a small, a large, a medium. This was an extra large video. And this is the events that we had with 2,000 participants, which was a success, a phenomenal success, and the startup service offering. So I'm trying to go fast here because I see I only have 26 minutes, but that's also where we innovated the Oasis immersive room. So I hope you enjoyed this. Oh, maybe I will do another small video just to explain this part, because